everyone, I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing Japanese politics, all things Kamen Rider Geats, and 2 weeks worth of new releases. But before all that, Buster, how you doing?
I am bored and tired.
Jesus.
Look, I've been trying to I've been busy with job interviews and just vegging out, so I just
Yeah, that's right. I meant to ask, how did your interview today go?
It was okay. I mean, they just called me for a second one, which is kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. I wasn't expected to be hired on the spot or something, but
at least you know they're still interested in you.
Yeah, but I also have 2 other interviews for different jobs tomorrow, so I'm like, oh, this might be more work than it's worth.
It depends on the place, I think.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Mr. VACUU? I just give up.
I'm very tired and very annoyed because my school is I've explained on this show before, right, that I work at a technical college, but there's also a high school on my campus, right?
Yeah, I think you've explained it to me at least.
Okay, so the building next to mine and the first floor of mine belong to the high school, and the high school actually went back in session today. But my college that I work for doesn't go back in session for another 2 weeks. So today was just all the fuss of school being in session without any of the work to do, which you think would be nice, but it was just incredibly annoying.
Yeah, that sounds like the tonal disconnect can get you a bit agitated.
Mm-hmm. Because right now it's literally just me and the teachers sitting in our offices with nothing to do. I clean the bathrooms once a day, and that's it. I've been spending the rest of the time watching Netflix in my janitor's closet.
Okay.
But no, that's been life the last day, and then of course before that, I've talked about this in a bunch of places already. But the reason we missed last week is, of course, because I went on vacation, and that was very nice and good and fun, and we'll talk about it a little later on in the show. But yeah, glad to be back. Glad to finally be back in the proper swing of things, including plugging Modular Media, the creative co-op that we are all a part of here on This Week in Toku. So if you want to support us, support the show, keep it going, keep the lights on, help us out in the YouTube algorithm, give this episode a like, comment down below with your thoughts on some of the stuff that happened, I guess, in the last 2 weeks of Tokusatsu. Subscribe, ring the bell in order to enable notifications, and get all of our podcasts as we put them out, because we don't just do This Week in Toku, we also do the No Price podcast, where we discuss Marvel and comic properties in general. And we do Modular Components, our flagship show, where we just kind of sit around and talk about whatever's on our minds that week and occasionally have guests. You can also keep up with us by following us on Twitter at The Modular Media and joining our subreddit r/Modular Media. But folks, that is all the plugging and tugging I need to do today. So let's get right into the news, because there's quite the smorgasbord this week, and we're gonna start off with something that's kind of only tangentially related to Tokusatsu, but I think it's going to be important in the long run, because for the first time ever in Japan's legislature's history, a mangaka has become a member of the Japan House of Chancellors, which basically is like a minor leagues version of their Senate, as I understand it. This man, of course, is Ken Akamatsu, who is the author of Love Hina, as well as several other notable manga from the mid-2000s. And he essentially ran on a platform of making it easier for people like him to do their jobs. Because if you don't know about Japanese copyright law and stuff like that, it's kind of choking the life out of a lot of the industries that we here in the West love from Japan. Because if you're in Japan right now, you can't use an image from a TV show or a manga or any Japanese media as your profile picture. You can't post screen caps or videos anywhere. That's considered highly illegal. They don't have even a concept of fair use over there. It's why if you watch Taka's videos, it's literally just him talking to himself, because he can't show footage from anything or talk about it in the way we understand making videos about things. And that does affect things for us Westerners quite a bit. I mean, Buster and I are both aspiring Toku video essay makers on YouTube, and we run into quite a few problems with Japanese copyright law as it is. But this man seems to be looking to change that, make it a little easier for creators in the fandom to flourish and for just to kind of pull Japanese copyright law out of the dark ages. At least that's like the main thing this article is saying he ran on. And a lot of other creators in Japan, especially other mangakas, are being very happy about this development and have been congratulating him left and right. So I think we'll probably get some good results out of this in the distant future, though, because with politics, everything takes longer than you think it will. Kind of like making YouTube videos.
All right. First, I gotta ask you a couple questions. First, this article came out on July 10th.
Yeah, it just came to my attention this week.
Okay. Okay, so but you can talk about this, but I have to fight to talk about Futo Pi like later in this episode.
Well, the thing is, this affects actual tokusatsu, whereas Futo Pi... We'll get into it when we talk about Futo Pi. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Speaking of toys and franchises and Toku...
That is very remotely what we were talking about. Jesus Christ.
Oh
I gotta take you to like a Segway class or something like that.
Please do. I feel like I'm like a hit and miss when it comes to segues. Anyway, I'll just get on.
You're extremely miss. I'll give you that.
Oh, god damn it!
I still love you though, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, we have the first quarter toy sales for 2022 in, and yeah, things are looking up in general. Kamen Rider is down a very small bit. But Sentai is up a very small bit, and Ultra is, of course, climbing up higher and higher, as it seems to do every year since New Generation hit its stride. So, yeah, overall, I'm very positive about this. I'm very happy about this outcome because, like, Sentai has been down consistently for years and years and years, pretty much since Kyoryuger. So to see that it's actually gone up a little bit, that's got me pretty excited. That's like, oh shit, DonBrothers is actually doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah, this is my favorite quarters report earning I have seen in my lifetime because it's all results I like.
Yeah, Kamen Rider.
Okay, no, here's the thing. I'm actually glad Rider's down a bit, not because I hate Revice. I like Revice quite a bit. But I feel like Rider needs to be humbled a bit. They need to be a bit humbled because I feel like for the way the toys are being handled, with most of them being premium Bandai and super expensive and like just stupid, like Revice toy line really feels like the year the Geo success that they've been coasting on has gone to their head, and
a little bit.
Yeah, like not like in terms of storytelling, but more in terms of toy line, because literally most of the belts are premium Bandai. You can it's been a
box set upon box sets of stamps that nobody wants.
Yeah, it's just been a mess. I just haven't been a fan of the way Revice's toys have been handled. So I'm glad that it's being like shown, like, you know, people aren't gonna stand for this, and
yeah,
hopefully Geats will they'll handle that toy line way better. I'm already liking how that toy line's turning out. We'll get that to the bit, but like, yeah, and also, you know, Ultraman. I like Ultraman. You know, they're doing good stuff. Shin Ultraman was probably a big boom for Ultra going up when you get down to it, because that's a major theatrical release. And then Sentai being up, that's good. We're probably gonna get a 47th series then. Yeah. So no more doomsaying. We're definitely Sentai will continue.
Hopefully.
Yeah, for at least another few years.
Yeah, let's see these sales keep going up in quarter two.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, we basically have all the information on Kamen Rider Geats now. There was a bunch of little tidbits that came out over the course of the last week, and then we had some big dumps in the last couple days, including the press conference last night as of this recording. So instead of like doing what I would normally dictate we do and just go point by point, article by article, let's just kind of dive in and talk about the things that seem the most interesting to us, and just kind of bounce around for a little bit until we've covered everything we want to cover. Buster, what right now is the most interesting thing about Kamen Rider Geats to you?
That's a hard question because there's a lot of interesting things about Geats. Probably the designs of the riders, because they're really leaning into the multiplayer MMO shooter aspect of the designs, in that everyone got a unique helmet but the same body shape.
Yeah, it's like a standard undersuit.
Yeah, and then, but like the cool thing is, everyone can use power-ups, including Geats's. Like in the trailer, we see the Panda Rider, who I think is called Dapon. He wears Geats's Magnum form, and that actually looks better. I think it looks better on him than it does on Geats. I mean, Geats' suit is still good, but like, you know, yeah, and we also like just got like a bunch of new riders. Also, something I'm so happy about: the female rider has headphones. I've been wanting a rider with headphones for so long, so that's just a nice thing.
I mean, it makes sense with the battle royale gaming theme they're going for,
and also with the character. But we'll get to that a bit when we discuss characters.
Well, we can go into that right now. I mean,
yeah, because the character's a streamer.
Yeah, and like just for reference, anybody who wants to like read everything up for themselves and not be totally lost in this conversation, all the news links, as always, are down in the video description. But we found out who most of these writers are, and it seems like Geats is going to be kind of a Kabuto archetype, where he is the main character they're marketing, but he's not the main character of the story.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've had that, and I like that. And, like, you know, I especially, like, it's been a while since we've had a main writer who their backstory is a bit of a mystery. I mean, yeah, Toma and Iki kind of have that, but not, like, so much where it's like, oh, like, their entire motivation is in their backstory, you know?
Yeah, and it's not an amnesia plot-like build. It's just, he's got his reasons, and you don't need to know him right now.
Yeah, and it also just looks super cocky, and I love him already.
He's a fancy boy.
Yeah, very fancy, very like in it to win it. You know, I like him a lot. Also, the other rider with the most armor, Buffa. Oh, he's gonna be a fun one. I can tell.
Yeah, because I was saying during the press conference, he looks like he freaking walked off the Blade set.
Yeah, I like. It's probably because he's a bad boy, like kind of archetype. It'll like I think like Blade early 2000s was definitely inspired by bad boy fashion. So,
no, he's gonna be Geats' rival, or at least he's gonna be positioning himself that way. Yeah. And he's the first one to get like a real power up that is his. He's got the zombie buckle, which is the other thing. We didn't fully know how the belt worked last time you and I did this show. Now we know that there's going to be a core desire driver, and then there's entry cores that each rider has to like identify and enter the base form. And then there's ride buckles that can attach to each side and mix and match, kind of double, kind of build, kind of O's. And it also has a spinny gimmick like Geo's belt, because either buckle can go on either part of the body, which I think is super fun and interesting. I haven't seen them blend gimmicks like this in a long, long time. It makes for a really interesting and unique toy line. And it seems like they're really trying to come up with new and inventive stuff this year, which I just love.
Yeah, like someone put it best, this seems like the year Reiwa's getting crazy and getting like, okay, let's like take all these old concepts and redefine them in our own style, you know?
Yeah, they figured out the new story format with Revice, and now they're figuring out the new toy format, basically.
Yeah, and it's like the buckles are like kind of like switches from Forza with all the unique ways they open and like activate, and then just got the spinny things, and it's like there's so much ways you can play with this driver. I usually wait to watch the show, but I'm tempted to buy it already.
Same here. With Toku toys, I'm usually pretty militant about, like, I got to get through the show and see if I like the character that's using this before I buy it, even if it seems like a really cool toy. But I've been tempted to pre-order the Geats or the Desire driver, a couple times.
Yeah, and it's nice that we already have 7 writers using it, so there's like a lot of opportunities for a lot of characters you like to use it, you know?
Yeah, and you can just mix and match as the line progresses, and
and
not only that, but the figures, the actual figures that are aimed at the target audience are going for a new style this year. Because for the longest time, it's kind of just been variants on the Sochok and for the lower half of the body. which maybe leads to some small steps back in engineering. Like the hands no longer have individual finger articulation; they are cubes with a hole in the middle of them. But honestly, I prefer that over the articulated hands we've had for however long it's been, because like those felt really clumsy after the first few years of seeing those figures for me.
Yeah, I can see that. And like as someone who prefers basic lines over like SHF premium stuff, this looks right up my alley. And like if I do want to get some Geats toys, these will definitely be the ones I will eyeball. Also, like speaking of the mix and match, like I do like that like Geats. We see like an image of Geats using the zombie form. I already mentioned that actually.
No, you talked about Dapan using Magna.
Yeah, but yeah, we get to see that like as either like it looks like it's from the Henshin tutorial video they put out after the first episode, but like they'll probably see it in the show proper. And like as you were speculating while we were watching the press conference, it looks like the villain character might steal the zombie core from Geats. So
yeah,
we'll see. Should we talk about story?
1 second before we get off toys, I just real quick also want to mention, like, hey, we had heard rumors of this, but it's been officially confirmed since our last episode that Bandai is offering the merchandise in the US officially now. It's not having to be imported through middleman service and that price being doted on to Rider fans. Like, Big Bad Toy Store and Toku Collectibles have official hookups with Bandai this year, thanks to Bluefin and Team Rider. And also, your local comic shop or hobby store should be able to order this stuff for you, which is really cool.
Yeah. It's basically it's like a bit cheaper. Like Toku Collectibles also has Japanese hookups still, so if you really want to go through it, but it's a bit extra pricier, so there is a reason to go for the English hookup. So.
Yeah, so like I'm very excited about that stuff. I know a lot of people have been going like, yeah, that's cool, but could we get the show too? And I do agree with that. But like this is a baby step, but a very notable baby step that I'm happy about.
Yeah, you'll at least make getting the toys like shipping wise pretty easier, and like it will have a more direct metric of supporting the official release.
And I mean, it supposedly is what got us access to the press conference, because usually you have to use a VPN to watch that thing. It was available worldwide on Bandai's YouTube channel, presumably because they're trying to sell the toys.
Yeah, which that's fine. We'll see. Yeah. All right. Do we want to get into like proper story details?
Yeah, it's a fucking death game story.
Yeah, it's a battle royale. Although it seems like they're trying to see who could save the most people, which could also lead to its own like fun moral conflicts.
Yeah, because there are you see them very briefly, but there are monster mashes in the trailer.
Yeah, and it's like it seems like they're all trying to like basically who can one up each other. Like it's still not teamwork, but it's like okay, we gotta it's more like a raid party in an MMO.
It's an actual version of rivalry instead of rivalry, meaning we're going to fight each other all the time instead of actually doing what we're supposed to.
Yeah, although they'll probably still be fighting each other like eventually, but like you know.
Yeah. Especially with Buffa seeming to have like a huge hard-on for getting better than Geats.
Yeah. Also, we should talk about Tycoon, who we haven't mentioned yet. He's an unemployed college student who dreams of world peace, and he's
a baby Kijino.
Yeah, he's positioned as a secondary writer, or at least somewhat secondary. Because he's called Player 2 in the press details, and I'm like,
I'm thinking he's gonna be our POV character. He's gonna be he's gonna be the Kenzaki to the Tendo of Geats.
Yeah.
Or wait, did I get the right name there?
You did not. You did not. Kenzaki's blades. No, it's
Who's oh god,
Gatak.
Yeah. I need to watch Kabuto. I'm sorry.
No, I'm watching it soon. Don't worry. We'll get to that in a bit. Not in a bit. It's gonna be an hour from now. Yeah. Also, Kamen Rider Tycoon, who's based on a Tanuki. Yeah, he's gonna go through some real punishment, and he's gonna be. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep on to those ideals of world peace, but it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. And then we mentioned Nago earlier with the headphone writer, which is nice that like female writers are now like somewhat standard in Kamen Rider. That's really good.
Okay, I got the opening consonant right. He's Kagami.
Kagami. Oh yeah. Okay, I was like, it starts with a K. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Nago seems cool. Though it's funny that we now have 2 female writers that are cat themed.
Yeah. I don't know. It works. Why not? People like cats.
Yeah, they're nice.
We also have a couple side characters, or at least characters who aren't writers, but like will be participating in the overall story. We got the guy who's Giori, who looks like he's dressed like Thouser, but has a smile like Aruto, is the best way to put it. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
and he's apparently the concierge of the game lounge, I think they said it's called.
yeah, and he's like trying to basically the description said he's trying to be overly supportive of every single member, and I'm like,
Which
okay.
probably means he's the villain.
Or like maybe there's like a weird like there's someone above him and he's just trying to make the best out of a shitty situation. We'll see.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
And then there's this year's Poppy Peepa Popo.
Slash Izu, which is funny because we're gonna talk about them again and when we get to episodes.
Yeah.
Tsurumi? Tsurumi.
I figured you would know, given that we had the trailer, and I heard it, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but like the assistant girl, yeah, she looks nice. Yeah. Yeah, very excited for Geats. It's just clicking all these right boxes for me, both in the toy line and the story. It's just all good things. All good things.
I wouldn't say I'm hype, and it looks 100% good, but it looks interesting.
Yeah. Like it feels like they're taking risk, you know.
They're trying a new combination of shit that they haven't done before. I wouldn't say they're taking risks.
Yeah. Well, like sometimes like taking, I don't know. It just feels risky for like what it like. It feels risky in the like for the last 5 years. I think.
I can kind of see that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Like not risky in the overall franchise, but risky in terms of like short term. Also, Gaim no Kaze is returning for the theme song alongside Koda Kume singing. So
yeah, that's cool. I thought they just fell off the face of the earth. Apparently, they've been doing stuff since Gaim.
Yeah, they've been doing Yakuza themes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Yakuza music's very good. So yeah, good for them.
Yeah, no, I remember liking their songs for Gaim.
Yeah. Good stuff. I wonder like how the sound is gonna differ because Gaim definitely led into the more Sengoku era.
It was also like a very heavy rock vibe.
Yeah, we'll see when that because we didn't get unlike other press conferences, we didn't get a full on like music preview, which I'm kind of salty over. But like either way, yeah, you know, except for Geats, hope it delivers the goods.
Yeah, but we also got this week in terms of writer news, or I'm sorry, this was last week. We got the official trailer, final trailer for Kamen Rider Girls Remix, which reveals pretty much the entire cast that's coming. Obviously, we already knew about a lot of people, but we got a few new surprises in this, mainly that Rinko Diamond from Kamen Rider Wizard and Kamen Rider Valkyrie would be returning. And I believe then on Twitter we also got confirmations of characters like Sawa from Kamen Rider Build is coming back.
Yeah, this is the first Build cameo since the V cinemas, which makes sense because all the main actors are busy.
Yeah, they got work. They got out of the Toku bubble. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. They're all in like gay dramas now. I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
But no, we've
Kaon from Ghost.
Oh yeah, Canon
from Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we've actually already got the first episode now because we've been going for so long. So we'll get more into Girls Remix later on. But suffice it to say, I still have my reservations about this series, but it's doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good. On to less good stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, it came out in this last couple of weeks that Ichiro Mizuki was diagnosed with lung cancer. And if you're unfamiliar with who that is, he is a singer who has worked on a lot of anime and tokusatsu over the years. But you probably know him most for singing the openings for Kamen Rider X, Kamen Rider Stronger, Shin Kamen Rider, and Kamen Rider Black RX. He has also worked on some of the openings for Garo in the Jam project. This is honestly pretty disheartening for me because I do love this man's work. There was a time back when I was a teenager where I would just sit around for hours on end and listen to Rider and Sentai openings. So some of his stuff is like some of my favorite openings of all time. Like, even though I haven't gotten into the actual show yet, I will say I have thought for years Black RX has a better opening than Black.
Oh yeah, like they're both good openings, but RX has like is legendary.
It's just slightly better.
Yeah, it has the edge, and it's very sad to see basically this legend of J-rock like nerd music kind of like fallen to the wayside. I hope he recovers.
Yeah, he's of course planning to fight and be as strong as he can during this time, but the man is 74 years old. So I would recommend everybody, like, of course, be hopeful. We all want him to recover, but this could go sideways.
Yeah.
Unfortunate news, but we do wish him and his family all the best. Let's move into some Sentai news, though. First and foremost, being that probably the weirdest premium Bandai solicitation I had seen in a while came out while I was gone, which is that we're getting another Memorial Ranger key set, that being DonBrothers and Anniversary Heroes. But it's not actually Anniversary Heroes. It's all of the seasons that come after an anniversary, because that goes with the theme of DonBrothers. But a lot of these we already have, like, premium level keys for.
I mean, it's nice to get the Go Busters ones. I kind of mad that they skipped the Q Ranger ones. That would have been a fun set. I don't think there is a full Q Ranger set of Ranger keys. So
yeah, but it was super premium. Like, it came out during around the same time as one of the team ups where the Gokaijers came back.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, we had Go Busters before as DX keys. I think we'd had Hurricaneer.
Oh, definitely the last few.
Actually, I think we only had red and green from God, what was it? Jew Ranger for the longest time. The rest were either, like, I don't think blue ever got released, and the rest were only available as candy toys. So, like, this is cool in that we're going to get the nice fancy auto flip versions that go with the Memorial Pirates for all of these. And DonBrothers does have sounds in the Memorial Pirates, so that's nice. But, like, a lot of these seem like you're just putting them in there to inflate the price of this set for me, because this is another over $100 key set, and this is also kind of the harbinger of keys are just back in general. We're going to get a big set of keys every few months now until they've done everyone in the Memorial style. Which if you're a key person who will just buy any Ranger key they put out, like
Josh from Toku Topics.
Yeah, that's great news. But if you're someone like me who's like, I just want one of each red, and I want to have a Memorial Pirates that I'm not worried about quality control with, it's kind of I'm tugging at my collar type news.
I will say the funny part about DonBrothers keys is normal sized Inu brother.
Yeah, that's a little funny.
Yeah.
I like how they make a big deal out of, look at how sculpted the helmets are, and like those are clearly 3D prints that they're zooming in on way too much.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, if you're into Ranger keys, this is obviously great news for you. So shout out to those people, and it's available on all the normal websites where you order your Tokusatsu collectibles. So go seek it out if you want to. But something that actually has me kind of excited is we now have the official solicitations for SH Figuarts 2 Kaiser, and it looks really, really good. The only thing that I'm kind of chintzy with it is I think the crotch looks a little too partsy, but I tend to have that anytime Figuarts tries to replicate a skin-tight suit.
That's fair. Oh, it's a premium Bandai, which I'm kind of like iffed about, because this is actually going to be like this. I do want to get this eventually. This comes out actually near my birthday, so maybe I'll get those a birthday gift. We'll see. Yeah, but yeah, Two Guys is probably my favorite Six Ranger ever in Sentai. So I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, and I'll probably get him eventually if he never ends up in Power Rangers and gets a Lightning collection, because like I want to. It's I have this thing where I'm like I've kind of been fence sitting for the longest time, because if we get Super Mega Force in the Lightning collection, I'll just get those and pretend they're Gokaijers. But I am like always hovering my finger above the button to just order all the Gokaiger Figuarts, and if I got them, I would have to get this to go with them.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, like even so, like I think it would be nice to get the Megaforce figure art just because they're the Megaforce Lightning Collection if it ever happens, just because it's a big part of your success and journey as a YouTuber. So
Yeah, I mean, like that is a thing as well.
yeah, but I'm overthinking it. Let's go on to the Denji Man.
Yeah, we got this news actually just broke today. I was grabbing it as we were getting in the call. We have a full solicitations for Soto Super Denzi Man. Is going to be the next Soto Sentai pack. And it looks like a Soto release. There's all kinds of extra goodies in here. They look like tiny, even more fragile figure arts, which depending on who you are, that's either cool or ooh, I'm not gonna buy that. Hey, guess what side of the fence I'm on? Go back and listen to episodes of the podcast to find out. But I mean they look good for what they are. I don't necessarily hate Soto, it's just not for me. But it's cool to see Denzi Man getting some love. And hey, they teased Kaku Ranger as the next release, which should be really cool. I know there's a lot of people who just love Kaku Ranger, so
I
that'll
mean,
probably
it
be
is
a
the
pretty
most
good one.
memeable Sentai in the West.
Mm.
Because, like, I mean, like, you know where today is Friday in California comes from?
I think you told me like a few months back that it comes from Kaku Ranger, but yeah.
Yeah. But either way, actually, this is my first time getting, like, a kind of an up-close, it's been a bit since I've seen the Denji Man suits. These are probably some of the best Showa, is it Showa Sentai? Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
Showa
yeah,
Sentai.
this is early. Like I think this I gotta double check, but I want to say this is the season right after Battle Fever.
Yeah, these are like really good suits, and they look really good here. It makes me wish that Sentai would have scarves again. Just because like of how well they work here. Also, this is probably the best Pink Ranger design out of any Sentai, to be honest. But yeah, I really like these. These are really cool. I would buy them, but I don't really like building. Like, I think my big thing of Shoto is I don't want to build.
Yeah, and like there's usually a lot of decals involved with these sets as well. So,
Yeah.
but I'm actually just double checking real quick. Okay, it's the fourth Super Sentai. So
It is
yeah,
after Battle Fever.
it's between Battle Fever and Sun Vulcan.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch it sometime. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean it's got Keiji Obata in it, so it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of KG Oba and good stuff,
Hey, we got some announcements out of Otakon this week, actually, which is pretty cool because I've known about Otakon for years, but I've always known about it as the other anime convention, like it's the less popular anime expo. It's kind of the ranger stop to Anime Expo's PMC. So I never really thought of it as a place where like big news comes out of, but apparently Discotech decided, hey, we're going to drop big tokusatsu news there this time. First off, they're starting a new sub-label for publishing called Toku Time. So Easy Rider's going to have to lawyer up.
you already made a video about it, actually.
Oh, that's great. But they've also announced that their first two releases under this label are going to be Space Sheriff Gavan and Legend of Dinosaurs and Dangerous Birds, which is a super obscure Toku film from like the 60s or 70s, I want to say, that I've never seen anyone talk about. So the fact that they're willing to license both Gavin as that and that as their first two releases says to me that like they're willing to do anything just to see if it will sell, which is pretty cool because apparently the decision to do this is also based off of the fact that they're the people who published Mega Beast Investigator Just Beyond.
And also Kitty Honey the Hot live.
Yeah, I was about to say that in the West. And apparently those sold really well for them. So it's apparently going to be a whole thing, and it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. I would not be surprised if, as long as the sales stay up, they end up publishing all of Metal Heroes.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen because I was following this thread live when it was happening, and I was like freaking out. Like Legends of Dinosaurs, Dangerous Birds, that's pretty good. That got like apparently the reason to do this film license came out of like MST3K notoriety, which is pretty cool. Because that was apparently an episode of The Lost KTMA MST3K episodes. Google it. And Gavan just like, okay, I get that Just Beyond, but I didn't expect like just the big one. You know, Gavan's kind of the big one. He appeared in freaking Power Rangers recently, so you know.
Yeah, I wonder if they had to go through Hasbro at all for licensing that kind
I
of
think
stuff.
so. I think like Hasbro, that might have been just a guest character kind of thing with
It's
that.
entirely possible, but I mean, I am fairly excited for this. I don't have a pre-order in just yet because my budget's really tight for the rest of the month. But I definitely do want to pick this up because I friggin' love the original Space Sheriff Gavon. I haven't seen a lot of Metal Heroes, but I've seen all of Gavon, seen a little bit of Scheider, and I've seen all of the next generation movies, and all of that shit is great. Like it's very of its time Gavon, but like enjoyably so. And it's like the thing Keiji Obata is most known for, and that man is he's like the one of the national treasures as far as like elder statesmen of tokusatsu go. He's up there with Hiroshi Fujioka in my mind. So
Yeah,
he
I've
and
never
this.
seen. I've only seen like a couple episodes of Gavon personally.
Mhm.
But like I've already put my pre-order in. I probably should stop doing that. But like I've already done that. I don't know if it charged me because I think I used gift money for that. We'll see.
Okay.
But like yeah. But like the here cool thing about this, not friend of the channel, but person we really admire, Mike Dent is gonna have an essay like built into this Blu-ray set. So that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
nice to see people from the community getting recognition in that way.
Yeah, I think he
Um,
has his hands in every Tokusatsu pie. Edited the 5-man trailer. He's been working with the writer stuff. He's been
he
working a
also
lot of
edited the
Ultraman.
Kuga trailer.
Yeah, like he's just in every like stateside Toku release for
Man, I
Henshin
just
Hero.
realized we've kind of got a publisher for every major Toku series now. Like, yeah, Shout Factory's being a little shoddy about Rider, but they're doing Rider and Sentai. Kraken's been pretty silent about Garo, but I wouldn't be surprised if they come back with some stuff sooner or later. And now somebody's picked up Metal Heroes, and pretty much all of Ultraman is out in the West. So we're we're actually really spoiled these days when you think about it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of Ultraman, Nexus just got up for pre-order. So I'm happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend people go and check these out. I don't know anything about Legend of Dinosaurs and Dangerous Birds, but I do want to check it out at some point. And Gabon is a great show. Again, it's very of its time. It's a show that you should take in chunks. You shouldn't try to binge it, but it's worth your time.
Yeah, I'll
So
probably watch it like bit by bit as they work on stuff. Uh,
definitely. But then to top off news that just came out of nowhere, we got a surprise Instagram live stream from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection team right at the beginning of the month. I believe it was actually on August 1st that this
it
happened.
was.
And they literally announced it like 5 hours before it happened, which was kind of hilarious because by the time I found out about it, it was already over and pre-orders were up because they announced a bunch of stuff. I'll go into the smaller details first, which is just that we're not getting Power Month this year, but we are getting Power Week, which is going to be the week leading up to the 28th. And they're going to be doing a bunch of reveals within that week, which I suspect is because just like scheduling errors and stuff like that. The G.I. Joe HasLab doesn't end for another week. And then Marvel has already teased that they've got a HasLab coming soon. So it's probably like trying to not get people to step on each other's toes.
And also, like last Power Month also got dominated by Marvel Legends and GI Joe, so they're like, I don't think we can make this a month. Let's just make this a week.
Yeah, and then also like PulseCon is happening at the end of next month, so it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of irons in the fire. But we did finally get proper reveals for some figures from Lightning Collection Wave 12, which is the new MMPR Black, which is, as predicted, going to just be a version that comes with an Atom head. But we're also getting a new accessory and a new effects piece, which is actually based off of a Zack episode, which is kind of funny. They're basically saying like this is just an expansion pack for MMPR Black. I think they kind of admitted that during the live stream. But then we also have
Okay, can I rant about MMPR Black first?
All right, go ahead.
They should have put the overdrive little power up on there. It was literally right there. You have Adam's head. Just come on.
I think they're saving that for like a Walgreens exclusive.
Probably, but come on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but like, there's just so many versions of MMPR Black. They're gonna milk this character for all it's worth, or this suit for all it's worth.
True.
Because hey, it's Power Rangers. That's how the game goes. But we also got Lightning Collection Lost Galaxy Green, which looks way better than I expected it to. I'm not a super big Damon fan. Like he's a good character. He's just not one of my favorites. But looking at this figure, I'm kind of tempted to get it because the sculpt, the design looks very on point for the Ranger suit. He's going to come with both a closed up and extended Quasar Saber, and then he's also coming with his version of the Trans Dagger, which no Galaxy Ranger has yet. And there's going to be a brand new effects piece to go along with it, which looks like it can be used for a lot of things besides this figure. So as a figure photographer, I'm tempted to pick it up just for that. But then the actor likeness is also pretty on point. I don't ever remember Damon looking as mad as he does in this head sculpt, but it still looks like the actor, which is a big win as far as this line is concerned.
He doesn't look mad, he more looks like cocky. He's like, yeah, I did that.
Oh, I can kind of see that interpretation, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just looking at high quality. Yeah, it looks very nice figure. Good shade of green. I like the Lost Galaxy suits. I don't care what if you call them Charlie Browners, whatever, you freaking boomers. It's a good.
But yeah, no. Both these figures are already up for pre-order on pretty much every major online retailer. They're of course going to be $24.99, as is the standard now. You can whinge about that all you want, but I don't think it's ever going to get fixed, if indeed you want to call it being fixed. And the only weird thing about this whole thing to me, aside from it just coming out of nowhere, is they didn't say anything about Wild Force Blue or any of the other figures in the wave. They're just like
for Power Week.
Yeah, they're just like, you'll see the rest later, which is understandable, but when you've already revealed one of them, but it was only one shot, and now we have all these in-hand photos of it, it's a little odd. I would have been like, hey, we know these two figures leaked, so here's the official reveal of these two figures. You'll get the rest of the wave during Power Week. That would have been my strategy, but I also understand this. You want to have everybody hyped over good news, especially with all the bad will Hasbro has had in the last few months. They're probably like really trying to clean up shop and put on the best show possible for Power Week.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's a thing. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. But we do have a little bit more Hasbro news, which is a long time ago, back when they announced the Zord Ascension project, they also said there would be a website to go along with it, and we didn't really hear anything about that until just this week, when the website just materialized. I guess because they decided to finally put it up because people were starting to get their Zap Dino Megazord in hand. And there's really not a whole lot to this. It's just like a neat little stats website. I don't know where exactly they're pulling all the stats from, but it is interesting to look at. I really dig the Wikipedia style first appearance and last appearance thing, especially because the last appearance is Grid Connection, and I forgot the Dino Megazord was in that episode. But yeah, it's a pretty spiffy little site if you're into that kind of stuff, but I don't really have too much to say about it, except like, ew, they acknowledged the NFT Megazord.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. Speaking of things there's not a lot to say about, though, Hallmark has announced that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers will be joining their Itty Bitties line of plushies, and we already have the first wave, which is red, pink, and green. They look like just the kind of merch that you pick up at a con because there's nothing else that interests you. Like this looks like just background fodder to me. There's not much to write
music about. That doesn't. You can't look at music. This looks like Christmas toys. There, next.
All right, so on to something that I actually think is kind of cool, though. Super 7 has announced that they're going to be re-releasing their Super Cyborg Dragon Zord, but this time in full color. You might remember when this toy was originally announced, the chest and headpiece, the cover, was entirely clear, because part of the point of this is like, oh, it's cool, you can see the inner workings. But I was always, I looked at those first few figures and was just like, but it looks weird. It looks weird that there's a clear cover. Now there's going to be a version coming out in a few months that will actually have a painted cover So it's more like a cool reveal to take it off and see the inner workings. And I think this looks much better. It still doesn't look like an $85 worth toy to me, but I can like, it's not something I would pay $85 for, but I can see where the budget went.
Next, I got nothing to say.
Buster is not a toy person, everybody, but
I'm a toy person when they look interesting.
Well, hey, here's some toys that look interesting, because Flame Toys has officially solicited their Kurukara Kuri Dino Megazord, which, if you're not familiar with Flame Toys, they primarily do model kits, but Kurukara Kuri is their line of premium action figures that are remade in a specific artist style. So this is technically the first new interpretation of the Dino Megazord we've gotten in a long time. Like, the Zap Megazord takes a few liberties here and there, but this is flat out like, we're doing like a crazy 90s comics version of the Dino Megazord, and I actually really dig this. I think
same. I wish it wasn't $400.
Yeah, this design looks really awesome. It's the first time I've been tempted to buy a Daijujin figure since like the Soul of Chogokin. And like there's just a lot of really cool little choices here. Like the Tricerazord actually has legs, and they're going to be articulated. It seems like there's a really good range of movement in Dino Megazord. He can hold the freaking shoulder cannons like pistols. The Pterazord actually has proper wings, and like they incorporate that into the Megazord design, which just looks
wings
sick
really
as hell.
sells me on this, and like also the teeth chest plate. I love that. I love that extra.
That's the one bit that I'm like, that's a bit much for me, but it doesn't ruin it.
Yeah, I could see that. But I like it's a clever. You know what? I'm gonna say probably someone's already said this, but I'm gonna say it. If they ever do another MMPR reboot movie, this needs to be the design. I'm sorry, I don't call.
Yeah, I can kind of go with that.
Yeah, like it just the wings. Just if only keep the wings part. The wings part is just so cool, man.
Yeah. And they have also shown a design sketch and a prototype for what their Dragon Zord is going to look like. Doesn't look terrible, but I do think it looks a little too humanoid for my taste.
It looks like a edgy rival, which is what I expect the Dragon Zord to look like. And yeah,
fair enough. But yeah, this is a super awesome piece. It's one of those things that I look at. It's like a hot toy, you know. I look at it, I go, "That's gorgeous. That's amazing. I would love to own it, but I know I never will."
Yeah. Hopefully, like something happens to money, and it will go down into like an affordable price.
I almost want to make that the title this week.
Yeah. Speaking of weeks, we have a double-decker worth of Decker.
Yeah, that's all the news that's fit to print. So let's go ahead and move into new releases.
Yeah, we got like double-deckers of everything, not just Decker.
Yeah, it's a Decker week.
Ultraman Decker, Episode 4: The Destructive Monster Awakens.
I really dug this episode. I thought this was a very fun. Like this is the most like yeah, Ultraman I felt like since Zet. There's a lot of cool playing around with sci-fi concepts, a lot of fun little character interactions, and we get a new monster.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Which isn't always a thing with Ultraman, I gather.
Yeah, because like they do like reusing suits and like modifying suits a lot. What? I'm just googling the episode right now because I kind of forgot what happened besides a monster attack.
Yeah, it's there. They go to the hot spring and
the hot spring. Yeah, that was cute. This was a cute episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Is it this episode or the last episode that the buddy I can't believe it's not a buddy roid found out about?
That was episode 3.
Okay, yeah, but like this episode, there's a lot of fallout from it of like them figuring out how to cover for each other.
Yeah,
and shit like that. Oh my god, that scene where he pretends to be. Oh, I forgot the name. What is Decker's human's name?
Let me check. But yeah, we're Decker. Just say Decker for now.
Where he's like covering for him and saying his voice, and like you can clearly tell. I'm sorry, Katana. Yeah. But you can clearly tell that like the other two are like that is not him, but we don't have time to investigate right now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, just a chill episode of Decker. Really got not much to say.
Really good plot of the week that reminded me of an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh my god, you and your Star Treks.
But no, there's seriously an episode of like TNG season 1 that is this plot
Yeah.
of an alien company is trying to sell a thing, but they've been gone for thousands of years already.
I mean,
And
like that's kind of an Ultraman sci-fi kind of like trope,
Yeah.
not with the hot spring, but like just with that kind of like idea.
But like that's what I'm saying is like I saw that plot and I'm like that is so sci-fi. You wouldn't see that in Rider and Sentai, and that's what makes Ultraman cool and distinct.
Yeah, speaking of sci-fi and Ultraman, the episode 5, the Glutton of the Lake, kind of continues that.
Yeah, like this is obviously a plot line you've seen many times before because it's an allegory for shit that happens in everyday life of somebody has an exotic pet and they don't know how to treat it right and it gets out of control. And it's just an Ultraman twist on that kind of plot line, and I thought it was done pretty well.
A very cute episode.
Yeah. I especially like the lesson that they use this plot line to deliver, which is with Miracle Type and really in any kind of hero show, you need to have episodes where it's not just destroy the monster. You can find other solutions when it's prudent to.
Yeah. So, like, I really like how Miracle Type, it was kind of introduced, like, and it's kind of, like, more of a purification form, rather than, like, a, like, it's not just the obligatory Ultraman Speed Blue form, it's, like, there's, like, more to it.
It's here's cool psychic powers, but unlike usually when you get that, we're going to use them in an unconventional way instead of just throwing shit at the monster with his mind.
Yeah, and it was really cute, and I like the King baby was nice, and I like how like at the end they're like, yeah, we gotta find a proper way to treat it. I can't keep slacking, you know?
Yeah, and finding out about that alien girl too was just a cool little bit of world building that like, oh, the humans aren't the only ones that are suffering from the sphere barrier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's just a good set of episodes that are just proven. Yeah, Decker pretty chill.
Decker is really on point so far.
Yeah, I can see why people are like calling it. Oh, this might beat out DonBrothers as the best Toku of the year.
It's possible.
Very possible.
But now let's talk about some mid shit.
All right. Kamen Rider Geats, episode 46. The courage to face it. What must they protect? This was okay.
I would have been extremely disappointed if this was the actual finale, which is weird because this is an episode about them beating the final boss, and it just feels very, we did it. All right. Like I like little side stuff that happens in this, like the resolution of Janie and Love Cobb's arc is very sweet. Fucking finally Tamaki becomes a Kamen Rider, and that's the loudest I've ever shouted "Let's fucking go" out loud in my life.
Yeah, that was pretty hype. I don't know why people were dissing that reveal. I guess, it's late, but better now than late, you know?
Yeah, better late than in a V cinema.
Yeah, better late than, like, in the movie, you know? Just, like, yeah, he finally doing his thing, and that's great. And he's like, and the suit looks, someone point this out, just because of the suit acting, it makes the over-demon suit tolerable now.
Yeah. Because he's like so excited to come and fight. He's like, Agelia, look, it's me! I'm a Kamen Rider now! Let's fight together! And she's like, focus up, you idiot!
Yeah, it's great. It's really wholesome. I will say, the last Rider kick of GIF felt weirdly directed. Like, I like the speech that they did, but it just felt like you could tell this isn't a final episode. I feel like they should have put a bit more emphasis on the fake out, you know, where it's like have a grand like double Rider kick, you know, or something. Just like have a bit more resistance of GIF, like, you know, maybe even have the theme song playing, you know. Just,
because it's like, very much like you're gonna get a bunch of mini wrap up shit in the next few episodes because the show's gonna be 50 episodes long. So I think the next thing they're doing is like there's gonna be a bunch of 2-episode mini arcs to wrap up characters.
Yeah, basically, I can see that. Well, we'll get into the first part of these wrap up arcs because that's what like I think the interview says. It's like this is the epilogue month of Revice. So yeah, which I guess
it's interesting that we're getting that in the actual show instead of that kind of stuff being relegated to V cinemas. But it does make this episode feel kind of clunky.
Yeah, and it like because I do feel like they should have put a bit more budget into like making the final battle with GIF a bit more like visually spectacle. It just kind of feels like every other battle.
Yeah, they should have gotten some of the other characters involved a little more. Like the most you get is freaking Hiromi shooting a bow and arrow.
Yeah. It felt like I liked writing. I like the writing of this episode, like a lot of the resolutions and interactions, but like the direction needed some work.
Yeah.
Which is like probably like one of I think like the most like I've complained about the direction in Revice, which is it's supposed to be pretty solid. All right, now for the one I'm interested in. Episode 47 of Kamen Rider Revice, Karazaki's Rebellion: The Price of Transforming.
I didn't love this episode, but I didn't think it was bad either. It was just kind of stuff happening in front of me.
I kind of loved it.
Oh dear.
Okay. No, I loved it except for the part where Iki, like they really should have built up Iki's memory loss more because
because they only mentioned that like every 8 episodes or so, I think.
And there's no like it would be fine if but there's no real, you don't see any like, besides the pictures fading, it doesn't really affect him much. It's just kind of like, oh, you might lose your memories, and it's just, I feel like there should have been a bit more like side effects to it.
Yeah, like all of a sudden in the last few episodes, there were just like a bunch of instances of him obviously not remembering shit, and it's felt very awkward and rushed, especially this episode where we go from he kind of doesn't remember some stuff he used to do with his dad as a kid to he doesn't remember his parents at all.
Yeah, it's really inconsistent and weirdly done, and I don't like it, but everything else, the George stuff in this episode, I know I know this would probably be better in the movie, but even without the movie, I kind of love this turn.
I don't know. Like, something about it just feels off to me. Like, it feels like he's supposed to be possessed by something, but, like, we've not gotten any indication of that. He's just doing this out of his own volition and his grief over his dad. But it feels very left field for him to me.
I don't know. They were kind of setting this up throughout the show, like little hints of his violent tendencies. So, and I do agree. Maybe like they should have had like you know how like you haven't watched Double, I realize, but like in Double they have an episode where it's like, this is what happened in the movie that affects the show. All right, continue. So, and I kind of wish
every writer show has that at some point.
Yeah, and they didn't really like elaborate on that well in this episode. So it's like, I do see why I could feel. I feel like George is a very left-turny kind of like wild card character in general. So I'm kind of okay with this turn, and also I really like his motivation, where he kind of opposes the entire idea of Kamen Rider in general.
Which is a big leap for him.
Yeah, and it's like it kind of like shows like I like this kind because here's how I interpret it: the grief he's going through, he's kind of like tossing aside his own interest and kind of just destroying it all, like in like a fate of rage, is like, oh, this gets me nowhere, and like kind of thing. Like,
you kind of see that, but I want the show to be a little more on the nose about that instead of leaving it up to folks like you to tell me about it.
Fair. I know I'm very analytical, so it's like, I like analyzing the theme.
Well, I mean, I am too. I just didn't see that shit, so it feels a little harder for me to get into. Like, the most I enjoyed this episode was the scene where Hana says she's gonna go give herself up to the police. I thought that was kind of cool that they followed that up, and then I felt bad about it, but I did get a bit of a laugh out of Hiromi struggling to carry a chest up some stairs.
Oh yeah, she's technically still 80, so
yeah. He's like, no, I can do it, and then he's fucking huffing and puffing the whole way.
Yeah. Also, George and Hiromi's homoerotic confrontation on the roof, that was pretty good. Yeah. Also, Juga's suit, it looks like something out of Go Busters. I dig.
It's all right.
It kind of kid bashy, but like I like it. Yeah. Also, Rip Tamaki.
Yeah, my man got mooked.
Yeah, he got moved after less than an episode. It should have been Hikaru.
We flew too close to the sun.
Yeah. Alright, and we're not out of Revice Land just yet, because we got Kamen Rider Janine and Kamen Rider Aguilera with Girls Remix Episode 1.
I like stuff in this, but I don't necessarily know if it's a good whole. Like, it very obviously feels like it's a skeleton crew filming this script they threw together on a weekend.
Kinda does. I do think I do appreciate the attempts of fleshing out Hana. We'll see how that works out in the end.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see immediately first shot Rinko and Valkyrie on the
And
case.
they're playing music from the Wizard soundtrack. That had me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Vac's gonna like this.
Yeah.
And it was just, I just kind of like the idea of just like all the Kamen Riders just kind of already knowing each other, just be like, hey, let's get together on weekends, you know?
Which, by the way, before we get into that, I gotta say, seeing Rinko again, even though it was for one scene, I was kind of floored by it, especially because like she's the one person in the cast who is super visibly older. Like she looks like she's been at it. She's been a cop for a few years and she's kind of grizzled. Like even the double girl doesn't look super older compared to how she does in the show.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, what did you think of these character interactions?
They were fun. They were nice. I like that Rekka's gaining a little more self confidence because the Revice lady writers look up to her. I liked seeing Izu and Poppy again. I don't like how little they got to do. That they were just there for like a little bit of plot convenience, and then Izu literally shows up to the fight to hand them new stamps. And then she doesn't transform, even though they make a point of saying that she's a writer too in this episode. I'm like, you have a belt, you could help Izu. Why aren't you helping?
Because there's more episodes to come, so it's
this is going to be a free episode miniseries.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But then I do also really dig that the villains are Black Satan, who are the villains from Kamen Rider Stronger. And it looks like the big bad is gonna be an evil version of Tackle, like they did a Shocker Rider on the Tackle template, which will be kind of cool.
Yeah, and again, it's like the ending stinger of this is Hana's devil, which is like, oh, that's interesting.
I mean, so if you can turn into a Rider in Revice, you probably got a devil. So
yeah. Where's
my Tamaki V cinema where he sees his devil?
Oh yeah, please, or like even just a hyper battle joke video. I don't care. Just give it more Tamaki content.
We need we need the Tamaki and what's his name? What's the other over demons?
Hikaru.
Like as much as I don't like Hikaru, give them a buddy cop V cinema. I think that would be fun. Or like another free episode. Tesla Club. Tesla show.
Either way, okay. No, I'm not sure if this is a translation thing. I was talking about this earlier on Twitter. Why do they keep referring to Janine's and Aguilera's bond as sisterly? That's a bit sus.
I think it's because like they realized that they might have gone a bit hard on the homoerotic tones with them, and they're trying to dial it back a bit. Even though, like, this would be the place to go super hard with it, especially since Koichi Sakamoto is directing.
Yeah, maybe they are going to go hard with it in the future episodes. Like, someone point out that a lot of that was Rekka, and Rekka has, like, a sister weird thing. But, like, I don't know. I mean, like, the insert song at the end, which is a really banger, Ryan and Bloom, probably the best Revice insert, does have some sisterly, like, family thing going. I don't know. By the way, what did you think of the insert at the end?
It was okay. It didn't super stick out to me. I spent most of the song trying to figure out if that was actually Hana's actor or if she was just lip syncing to some other voice actress. But I will also say, like, for a Koichi Sakamoto thing, this doesn't feel like Koichi Sakamoto at all. This feels like I don't want to say it's bad. Dude, give me a second here. I don't want to say it's bad, but it feels like very bland compared to what I expect from him. So like either we're going to have an explosion of shit in the next 2 episodes, or he is phoning it in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, honestly, I feel like this is the only thing I really want Sakamoto to phone in. Honestly, not because I hate these characters. On the contrary, I love them, but just because I don't want them to Sakamoto to over male gazeify them.
I mean, as much as I love Sakamoto, he's kind of the Michael Bay of Tokusatsu, so I gotta agree with you there.
Yeah. I mean, probably better. Hopefully better than Michael Bay, because whatever. I don't just say Michael Bay.
Yeah, I get the feeling that everybody likes working with him, which makes him automatically better than Michael Bay.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of things I like...
we're definitely going to Segway class this weekend. That's happening.
Yeah. Segue retreat. Avatar Sentai DonBrothers, episode 22, a hellish manga method.
This episode was pretty fun. I appreciated the Poitrine reference because you don't see that super often. And
yeah, literally, as a friend of the show, Tim Shields of Zyro Enterprise America releases a video relating to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
But no, I don't super remember this episode if I'm being honest. Like, not only really the Poitrine reference and the I'm in a slump joke stuck in my head, and I didn't even really like the slump joke all that much. It was kind of annoying the second time around.
I kind of liked it because of like what they like kind of in between it, because we got these little like fantasy scenes of just different characters and like Haruka's like manga drafts, which are super funny and charming. Like you got like all like the male characters pining for her attention or like self-insert, and then you got like her and so like the female Celebrate doing like a cool dance to transform. It's good.
Oh yeah, and the rival mangaka is brought up in this episode. We actually get to see him, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The fact that they kept his face covered the whole episode makes me feel like he's going to be important and a reveal later on.
Probably. Like I've watched Faiz and Agito. Like I haven't watched Faiz and Agito under my belt. I kind of know what Inoue's like writing method is with serialized stories, where he won't reveal everything until the 40s.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I'm gonna throw my hat into the betting ring right now. You remember the boyfriend Haruka briefly had who wanted her to meet his mom?
Yeah.
I bet he's in that bear suit.
I can see that. Yeah. The ending shot of this episode, the ending monologue of the episode is pretty. I will say it was very well directed.
Where she's like, I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna get money.
Yeah, there's really good fan art of Twitter on it. I think I linked it earlier.
Oh yeah,
It just a good episode. Solid little breather episode in between, kind of like wacky.
Oh yeah, and that's right. Also in this episode, what's his name? Don Dragoku goes and visits with his friends, and that was kind of sweet.
Oh yeah, and that gets followed up on in the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move right into that.
Yeah. Inu goes to the doghouse. I love this.
This is one of those episodes of Sentai where I'm like, this is very Japanese, and like I get it. It's a Japanese show, so that's to be expected. But like, I'm not super jiving with everything that's going on here, but I can't say it's bad because it's just not my culture.
I just think it's just charming. It's basically just Inu Brothers' wild adventures.
Inu Brothers' wild ride. Wow.
Yeah. Basically, and it's like him just kind of like, oh, I can't untransform. Everyone thinks I'm a dog. Ah.
I will say though, the ending shot where he finally turns back into a human through no effort of his own, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm here. This is the only food I've had all week, and he just keeps eating the dog food. That had me laughing.
Okay, that was funny, but I also thought it was kind of like, here's the thing, I did not think about that, but the way I interpreted that was he is stuck as a dog for the foreseeable future. I don't know. I guess maybe just my brain worked differently that when I saw that. But yeah, either way, fun stuff. Just a lot just charming jokes. To get to see more of the Inu Brother prop. I think this motion, they finally figured out how to do Inu Brother in this show well. Just like little like close up shots of the puppet, while also like for like more walking shots having the CGI model. It's pretty solid.
And also like the Don Dragoku stuff in this episode was pretty interesting. Like, we were down on that mecha when we saw it in the toy scans, and like I still don't want to buy it, but I think they did a really good job of melding it into the show.
Yeah, I really like it. I was gonna say I really like it in the show. It's very very cool how basically it's like caging up the evil part of him. Evil part dog. That's really clever design.
Like it makes sense now that there's two different swords for technically one ranger. And like I thought that cage looked super cheap when I first saw it on the toy. The way they worked it into the show, which I don't know which came first, and we'll probably never find out, but I think it's just super clever and really feels like Inoue is rolling with the punches there.
Yeah, it was one of the best. I think that's one of the best scenes I've seen of synergy between writing and toy. Also, we should probably get into the context. Basically, Don Goku and Torabolt are kind of now two different entities in one. Kind of.
Which is interesting because like for the last few episodes they've been debating on whether or not to let him stay a Dom brother because they're like, dude, you could turn evil and attack us at any second. And so he just fucking went the way of Trent from Dino Thunder.
Yeah, and it's just like he just might have been on his own, and now he's just like, and now he's kind of like, okay, you kind of prick, but I'll fight and control you, and like I'll fight with you, but I'll also keep you in a rail, and it's like that's I always love that kind of trope between like the good side and the evil side kind of could work together,
Yeah,
but like the good side keeps the evil side in check.
Hey, Revice, here's how you do a story about taming your inner demon.
Oh, there's a whole discourse about that. I didn't interact with it, but apparently there was, and I'm like,
wow, okay. I thought I was just making a dumb joke.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm kind of sick. I mean, like, I think they salvaged Daiji by the end, but like, that was a rough road to get there.
I'll say this: I've kind of as long as they eventually announce Perfect Wing to get a toy, I've kind of come around back to I do want a versus driver a little bit.
Yeah, I think two side driver. I think it's
called. Two side driver. That's what it's called. I'm sorry. There is a versus driver. I'm trying to remember what it's from though.
Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger.
Oh yeah, that's right. Versus Changer. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Be a charming episode of DonBrothers. Just it was everything I could have wanted and more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this show continues not to miss.
Yeah, it's solid. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm probably the one who's like overly positive about this show.
Look, you love DonBrothers. I like DonBrothers.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. You know, we're both on like the same page of this good show, good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, do you want to go first, or should I get into all the shit I did over the 2 weeks?
Yeah, do your shit first.
Okay, we got a lot to cover. All right, first off, let's get into a technical new release. Futo Pi came out this week, and I've decided, screw it, I'm going to talk about it on the show, even though Vac could just like, oh, it's only a tokusatsu show, no anime. And I'm like, it is a tokusatsu property. It is going to be a big deal. Just fine, I'll talk about it myself then.
It's going to be a big deal in the same way that people commenting on the reveal of the Ultraman comics and saying like, lol, way big is going to be, it was a big deal. That's what I think. But no, I didn't. All I watched from this was the transformation sequence in episode 2, which just made me feel like a boomer because I was like, that's way too much. You need to dial it back there. That doesn't look like tokusatsu.
Wait till you see a One Piece fight scene in the modern age.
Yeah.
Because they get like that's like you imagine like how Sakuga that is it just applied to an entire fight. That's like modern One Piece fights. So, yeah, it's. I mean, but I do agree. It's probably not the best use of budget. Maybe should have saved it for the fight. All right, let's get into Futo Pi. Pretty solid adaptation of the first like story arc of the manga. This feels very much like Double between like the little episode like arc between the way the episodes are named and like with like there's an arc title and then the episode title. And then just to like even if there's different actors, the characters still feel like themselves. And the animation is really pretty to look at. Yeah, of course, there's some awkward CGI, but what you gonna do? It's a modern anime production. I think this is a nice. It feels like a double V cinema to me. Is the best way to put it. Like an extended V cinema of adventures, we're just here's more adventures of the Double crew, and that's pretty good. Like the lost episodes of Double, if maybe that's a better analogy. Yeah, I don't really got much to say. They introduced a new character who's a bit fan servicey, but she's fine.
From what I gather, she was in the manga, so it's not unprecedented.
Yeah, I think that was my first thought when it was like this adaptation was announced. Where I'm like, oh, we're gonna see her.
We can sell figures.
Yeah, which they already are selling figures of the Futo Pi cast. Philip's green hair, I'm okay with it. You know what? I kind of like. I don't know why, but the character design in the show for like all the actors, like actors to anime, reminds me of Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Interesting.
Like where it's like they take all these like real actors from like big budget movie and kind of characterize them like into like cartoons. But that's a very loose interpretation of like kind of character design. But like that same philosophy is clearly being seen
I
in.
remember when I was watching that clip for like the 2 seconds you see Akiko, I was like, oh, she kind of looks like her actor.
Yeah, she probably the like her, and we haven't seen Axel yet. We've only seen Axel in the opening sequence, which, by the way, both opening and endings are really fun. But like he looks pretty good. Look close. Everyone, I think, besides Philip, but that's just because he has green hair. Like his mannerisms are still very true to the character.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they take this like live action show and kind of like adapt its mannerisms and plot structure while
Oh,
expanding
I
on
did.
it.
That reminded me of the Moment in Girls remix where Akiko sees Izu do a search and she's like, "Oh my god, you're like Philip, but good."
Oh my god! That's mean, man. That's mean.
Yeah, but that's very, from what I know of Double, that's very in character for her.
Yeah, it is, but
So sees Izu do a search and she's like, "Oh my god, you're like Philip, but good."
oh my god! That's mean, man. That's mean.
Yeah, but that's very, from what I know of Double, that's very in character for her.
Yeah, it is, but
Yeah.
that hurts. That hurts. Yeah, but yeah, good anime. Would recommend. I'll keep watching it week to week, but maybe I'll just cover it in batches, like every month or so. I'll go. All right, here's what happened in Futo Pi this month. I just wanted to cover it because it came out and people are probably gonna ask about it. So, I keep asking about it in my head. So and leave a comment and ask us about things we might miss or should watch. And then I watched 2 whole Kamen Rider shows in the span of 2 weeks.
Damn.
I hate myself sometimes, man. I really do.
That's a lot, buddy.
Yeah, too many up, and this is not even counting like all the Ninja Turtles stuff I've been watching in the meantime, because I've been really binging on that franchise. So, yeah, I've been bored. Needless to say, I don't have hobbies right now. Or these are my hobbies. Anyway, Kamen Rider Flies. I watched it. Video soon, maybe. Early thoughts on it? It's good, I think. I understand why you kind of hate the show, but like, I still like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, it probably will get worse for you if you continue. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I've seen spoilers.
Yeah, like. I understand why you dropped it. I can see why. Like, unless you're really committed, it's. Like
I probably will have to finish it one day because I don't want, when I eventually get to that point of like I've made a lot of tokusatsu essays. I don't want people to be looking at me like, so why haven't you talked about Fies? Like that'll be one I'll have to do one day just so people don't ask about it.
Yeah, just like basically a point to every show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do like Takumi. I do like a lot of the characters. I think people might have overhyped Kusaka. He's good. I understand, like, he's a good jerk, but, like, I think people might have overhyped him a tad bit. I don't know.
You have to understand, he was revolutionary for his time.
Yeah, okay, that clicks. Yeah, probably, yeah. Then again, I feel like Oja was a better, was more worthy of his legendary status than Kaiksa as a jerkville. I don't know. I still like
but
his
the Western fandom didn't have a fully subbed Ryuki back then.
Good point, fine. And, like, I know Fies was, like, one of the first fan subs, so... Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Kusaka's still great. Still like a fun jerk. He probably is responsible for all the like quote unquote miscommunication on the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like because everyone else is very open about their feelings, but Kusaka's just like nah. He's just scheming, like gremlin. Yeah, and then he probably, although I think I know, okay, I'm going too far. I'm gonna give this guy the most morbid death in all of Kamen Rider. Like, it's not graphically morbid, but it's the way it's presented is morbid, and I think that's very fascinating. But yeah, Fi's good. It does work better as a full picture, but, like, it's not really a series I'm kind of, like, itching to rewatch anytime soon. It's solid. It's like a 7, 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, and then Hibiki. Where do I start?
I don't know. I know. Like, every time I hear people talk about Hibiki, I hear a completely new opinion. Which probably means I should check it out sooner rather than later, honestly.
Okay, I do recommend checking out, like, Hibiki in its whole. I love this show. The second half is worse than people make it out to be, honestly. And that's probably just because I love the first half so much. Like, it just hurt more. Like, it really, I don't blame Inoue or Shirakura. They've apologized about it, like the second half kerfuffle, which is a whole kerfuffle within itself. And you should probably just watch Hibiki just so you can do a video about the second half kerfuffle, and that would get some nice views. But anyway, I love a lot about this show, but a lot of what I love starts to literally be sapped away as soon as the 30s hit, and when the second half switch, and where Kiria, he gets better. I will say he does get better, but he has one of the worst first few episodes in all of the new character in Kamen Rider. He just literally feels there just to be antagonistic. There's like, I don't feel any purpose to his growth. I can kind of see, like, a lot of the second ideas, a lot of Hibiki's second half ideas I can kind of see working, but they're just not executed well. Like the idea of Usamu kind of like going, like not wanting to be an Oni anymore and just be a doctor, that I think that can work well. It's not well, it's done horribly here. The idea of him being challenged by a rival, that's interesting. It's horrible. And then, not to mention, we have the worst female.
I love how all your takes on this show is, that's interesting. It's horrible!
Yeah, it's that's the second half, because the first half is legitimately charming. It's super charming, super wholesome, very well done, very pretty show. Like, I'm glad to watch this in HD. Don't watch the SD Toku TV Nihon rubs. Find a scrub of it and like just enjoy the scenery. Like, and just of like it just the second half is really just okay ideas, very bad execution, and legit the ending kind of pissed me off. I will say that is the most I've been pissed off at a tokusatsu ending ever? Yeah. And I defend Double's ending, which people hate.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hibiki is a complicated one. You can talk about Black and all the stuff you got.
Yeah, Jesus, I love how you're just like, fuck it, it's over, leave me alone.
Yeah.
But no, I finished Kamen Rider Black this week. Yay! Woohoo! Hurrah!
Hey.
This is the most depressing ending of a show I've seen in a while, and not in your Hibiki, this is awful way. Just in like, oh, we've won, but at what cost kind of way. Like, it's an old ass show, so I think like anybody who's been into Rider for a while and hasn't seen it yet knows how Black ends. But just in case, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I'll just say like Kotaro goes through a lot in these last few episodes, and like it kind of puts into perspective how much shit he's gone through in the series in general. And it's like, fucking Golgum took everything from this man, and he will never be the same again. And like if they had just fucking Cowboy Bebop, you're gonna carry that weight at the end of the last episode, I would have been like, that's totally appropriate. Good on ya. But I will say, I was slightly incorrect last time. It's not 52 episodes, it's 51 episodes, because episode 52 in the download I got is literally just a clip show of, look at all this cool shit that's going to be in Black RX. Don't you want to keep watching, kids? And it's like, this is spoilers. I'm going to turn this off now that I'm 2 minutes in. Yeah, no, I really loved Kamen Rider Black. It's a classic for a reason. There's a lot of cool stuff in there people never talk about, because literally all anybody ever says about Black is, it's really good, they perfected the show-off format, it really gets going once Shadow Moon shows up. And that is all true, but there's a lot more to this show. It is worth your time. Go check it out. I'm very much looking forward into getting into RX sometime in the next couple days.
Yeah. And there goes another round of depression.
Yeah. But I did also get some toys this week. Should I go in chronological order or the order I have it written?
Whatever order you want.
All right. So while I was down in Florida visiting my mom's side of the family and celebrating my nephew's first birthday, I also got to sneak off for an afternoon and do some toy hunting, which included a new vintage toy store right around where I used to live when I lived in Florida during my teenage years, which is Bonita Springs Toys and Games, which, if that sounds at all familiar to people, you're probably a viewer of TJ Omega, because he's the manager of that store. And I actually got to hang out and talk with him for a little bit. He was a really cool, really nice, accommodating guy. And we got on talking about a little bit of stuff. I stupidly brought up that I don't like Gaim's ending, and he's a big Gaim fan, so we had a little bit of like, wait, why don't you like the ending talk? But other than that, it was a good time, and I ended up buying DX Go Jujin from him, which, if you don't know, is the mech that belongs to Gokai Silver. And I've always like low key been like, I want to get the Gokaiger mecha one day, but I've always kind of held off on it for one reason or another. But this just seemed like the right time to pull the trigger, especially since Go Jujin is like the most self-contained one. Like, you don't need another one to do any kind of cool combination stuff, because it's essentially just a triple changer transformer with really high quality plastic and joints. And more limited articulation than modern Transformers collectors are used to. But it's still an interesting and fun toy in its own right. But there are like little things here and there that bother me about it. Like, just generally, it's a bit more limited than I was expecting. The head doesn't turn at all, which it seems like it would be perfectly easy to put a swivel joint in there, but they just didn't. And that's like my one legitimate complaint. The rest of it is just like, oh, I didn't know this thing was a parts former somehow. Oh, I didn't know it was a wind-up toy somehow. Like, I thought the drill spinning gimmick operated on the same way that the Dino Thunder Megazord did, which is that's battery operated. No, this, you literally have to wind it up, and then there's a little switch you flip on the back that it just goes for a minute. Which is kind of fun in its own right. I haven't had a toy like that runs on that kind of power in a long, long time, so it's sort of novel, but then you also have the fact of, like, because it's a triple changer and all those changes involve parts forming, it does get a little confusing at times, which is not something I've ever encountered with Sentai Mecha. They're usually fairly straightforward. But overall, I do like it a lot, and I'm glad I had it. I feel like I got it for a decent price because it was in box, and I still paid, like, right at $100 for it, which I feel like is a fair price for a toy that's that old and still in box and in import. So yeah, if you, like me, for some reason don't already have a Go Jujin, I'd say it's worth seeking out, especially if you already like Gokaiger and Gokai Silver. And then I got back, and this last Saturday I did a little bit of toy hunting in my local area, and the only good thing I found was at the Target right by my house. I walked in and I was like, all right, nothing, nothing, nothing. Those are shelf warmers. Those are Star Wars exclusives I don't care about. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, holy shit! There's actually 2 Tyrannosaurus Centuries here. And I only want 2, so this is like super serendipitous for me. And before anybody says like, oh, you should have left one for the next collector, I was the next collector. That comes in a case of 8. So I was able to get the last 2, and that was all I wanted. So I don't feel like I was gypping anybody. And the Lightning Collection Tyrannosaurus Centuries, they're not terrible, but they're also not great, and it's mainly due to the cape. The cape is a much harder plastic than I'm used to with modern Hasbro figures. Like like usually there's a little bit of pliability there. These, it is like a hard shell that you're popping on the figure, and it completely cuts off most of the arm articulation. You can still get them in the basic standing there holding the spear, or like dual wielding it in kind of a defensive position. But beyond that, you really can't get much out of them, which is kind of disappointing. I'm really hoping somebody starts offering custom wired capes for these guys sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's like, other than that, it is as good as you would expect a Lightning Collection figure to be. Obviously, I'm a little sad there's no surprise skull head in the box, but the weapon's fairly nicely done. They made the same mistake they did with the original Power Sword, which is they cast it in red plastic and then made the black of the handle painted. So, you know, that's going to rub off in the hands eventually. But I overall feel like it's a fairly solid release for something that's like a really easy to do remold.
And it still took 400 days to come out.
Yeah, that is still pretty ridiculous. Like, I'll admit, a lot of what's making me enjoy the figure is the, oh, finally I have it, and I thought I would never get it factor.
Yeah, and also like even before I mentioned this before. I was really excited for this figure just because I like the design. Kind of disappointed that the cape kind of sucks though.
Yeah, that is very and like the thing that especially bums me out, because I'm used to Hasbro capes not being great. Usually their cloth feels like a Lego cape, or if they do plastic, it's kind of like a pliable rubber. But this is just straight up the same plastic the rest of the body is made out of, so there's no moving it at all, which felt really like, why'd you make that choice to me? But overall, I'd say there's a solid release. If you're like me and you just want two to stand on either side of Draken on your shelf, they're still worth picking it up. But unless you're also ready to shell out the extra money to get custom capes made for them, or you have the know-how to make your own custom cape, these aren't going to be great for figure photography.
Might still pick it up if I find it like out in the wild.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people have been finding them still. They seem to be fairly plentiful, at least at the moment.
Yeah, probably helps when you've been sitting on it for 400 days.
Yeah. But I think that's everything we have to talk about this week. This was a long one, and we knew it was gonna be because we missed a week. But I feel like we got a lot of good discussion and stuff in here. And obviously, if you want to contribute to the discussion, the comments are right there. Help us out with that algorithm, folks. But yeah, and anything you wanna say before we wrap up, Buster?
Subscribe to my channel, I guess.
yeah. Go ahead, start plugging yourself.
Hi, I'm Buster. I do YouTube videos. I need to actually upload. It's been a bit of a week. I don't know. I've been busy, so I haven't been able to actually work on. Also, just my brain isn't working.
A week without uploading? What a tragedy! I have no idea what that's like.
Okay.
I'm just boxing your ears.
No, I know. I find that really funny. Just to plug yourself, like.
Hi, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos about Tokusatsu and why I like it or don't like it, because I have opinions. So go subscribe and hear those opinions at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. I'm also on Twitter tweeting and twatting about various things. That's at the Vacuuminator. And I'm on Instagram posting action figure photography at _Vacuuminator. Do you want to finish your plugging your stuff, Buster? Or are we just done?
No, we're not.
All right, everyone. That's it for this last 2 weeks in Tokusatsu. We'll see you back here next week for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.